Привет, this is Odessa Mama. So welcome to Odessa, Ukraine, and you just got a little sample of what it's like to do a Tinder swipe through in terms of the beauty of the local girls here in Eastern Europe. That is, by the way, the Odessa Opera House behind me, and that's a place where I read from I saw from another YouTuber that you're not supposed to meet girls in front of. Let me just put that as an added bonus at the beginning of this Tip Thursday with me, Conor Clark. That is complete BS. Whoever came up with that, I don't know. Anyways, so in today's video, we're going to dive in a little bit about what you can expect in terms of the beauty of the local lassies when you come here to a city like Odessa in Ukraine, and how you might actually struggle when you go home because women are just going to look a little bit ugly when you get back. Поехали! So me and my friends who come here with me to Ukraine, we have a little bit of an insider joke, and that is what we call the Ukraine beauty effect. So basically what it is that, you know, having spent some time here in Eastern Europe, it doesn't necessarily have to be Ukraine, but because we were hanging out here in Ukraine back in the day before Russia and Belarus become a lot easier for visa free, we noticed that when we would leave Ukraine and go back to, say, the US or Western Europe, that we noticed that we didn't find the girls as attractive as we had before we arrived. And that's because there's just such an abundance of beauty in this region. And of course, a lot of these things are relative, right? When I was growing up in Ireland, what I would see is, like, to use this kind of numbers, I find them a little bit silly to say 5, 6 to 8 looks, but fine, because again, it's also subjective. But we'll say the girl might have been to me, being grew up in Ireland, as an 8 out of 10, so obviously someone who's well above average in terms of looks. And then after I had been maybe here in Ukraine and I would fly to Ireland, I would see them as maybe a 5, maybe even less than that, I don't know. But you get the idea that suddenly the extreme beauty that you find in Eastern Europe becomes your new standard. And as a result of that, the whole numbering system obviously doesn't make sense to you anymore, but basically you suffer from a little bit of depression, I would say, even if you go back to the West, because you just don't see that many attractive women as you do here on average. And that leads to something, I guess you could call that Schönheitsweh. I know the Germans have this great word, which is Fernweh, which means when you kind of long to go traveling again. So it's kind of like a homesickness for travel, and I think a homesickness for beauty along when you're traveling is definitely something as well that I've noticed. This Ukraine beauty effect is our insider joke, and yeah, basically after you've experienced Eastern Europe, it's going to be hard to go back. So the next thing you're going to need to know is, well, that you come here, you see the beautiful girls, you're in awe. That's actually why a lot of guys get caught out by these romance scams here in a city like Odessa, because they're just not used to so many beautiful women, especially so many beautiful women suddenly being very interested in them. So this is something you definitely have to be careful of, not to get caught out by romance scams. And the next issue you're going to have is where you're going to meet the girls that are genuine, how are you going to approach them, where are you going to go. That's going to be your next challenge. Getting here is the first thing, adjusting yourself to beauty, but after that, you're going to have to know how to engage with them. So now that you have some insights into exactly what to expect in terms of the amazing beauty of women here in Eastern Europe and how you might even struggle when you get back to normality, when you go back to your hometown, you're going to need to know exactly where to go and meet and maybe even seduce these beautiful women here in Eastern Europe, exactly, what's the vibe and how you're going to approach them and stuff like that. So for I think I'm only going to put this up for maybe about 1 month, 3 or 4 weeks in total. So probably after this video goes out, it's going to be up for just another 2 or 3 weeks. I have a link below to a special PDF that normally consulting clients pay me for this kind of information, about $250 US. But for the next 2 or 3 weeks, it's going to be completely free. You're going to have to pay nothing for it. You just have to go down there, click on the link, and type in your email address, and then I will shoot it over to you. It's a PDF, gives you my secret places to go and meet beautiful women in Eastern Europe. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that, because it's only going to be there for a limited time. So write me a comment also below in the comment section what you thought of this video, what wisdom you can provide, not just to me, but to the other viewers of the video. Create this community effect down there below in the comment section. Maybe you've also gone on a holiday somewhere and just been amazed by the beauty of the women and got back home and just had the same Ukraine beauty effect as I called in this video, and not really found people as beautiful as before. Or maybe you found the opposite. Maybe you went somewhere and you just thought the local girls were really unattractive and you were actually glad to get back home and see beautiful women again. It can also work the other way around. See you very soon in the next video. Do svidania, do побачення from Odessa, Ukraine.
SAR Experience.